For decades, Hollywood action meant endless ammo and gunfights that made real shooters roll their eyes. But when a world champion stepped onto the John Wick set, everything changed. Suddenly, what looked cool finally felt credible, and the consequences rewrote both movie lore and the gun world. The question is, why did it take this long for Hollywood to finally get it right? Hollywood spent decades treating guns less like tools and more like magic wands. Bullets never ran out, no matter how many times the hero fired. Reloads, if they happened at all, were blink and you miss it, or just a quick flick of the wrist with a fresh magazine appearing out of nowhere. Movies often showed the good guy firing with one hand, arm fully extended, or the gun turned sideways, as if accuracy and recoil were for amateurs. Stances looked more like dance moves than anything you would see at a real range. For people who actually shoot, whether in the military, in law enforcement, or in competition, these scenes landed somewhere between comedy and insult. Online forums filled with jokes about bottomless magazines and heroes who never once checked their chamber. Muzzle discipline seemed to be a myth. Fingers found triggers at the wrong times, and every firefight played out as if physics had taken the day off. One shooter put it bluntly, Hollywood treated reloading like taxes, something best ignored. The result was simple. Gun owners, range regulars, and anyone who had ever loaded a magazine found themselves pulled out of the story. Instead of tension, there was disbelief. Instead of respect, there were eye rolls. For years, action movies cared more about spectacle than credibility, and a whole community waited for someone to finally get it right. Taran Butler's world is measured in fractions of a second. As a champion in the high-speed, high-pressure sport of three-gun, he built Taran tactical innovations to push shooters and their gear to the edge of what is possible. Hollywood rarely called on people like him. That changed when the team behind John Wick wanted something different for their sequel. Instead of hiring the usual prop masters, they brought in Butler as a tactical advisor and gunsmith, starting with John Wick Chapter 2 in 2017. His job was not just to supply guns, but to inject real competitive shooting philosophy straight into the heart of the film. Butler's approach goes far beyond looking cool. Every detail matters. The way a shooter moves, how quickly a magazine drops, the grip that keeps recoil in check. He trains actors and stunt performers the same way he trains champions. On the range, under the clock, repeating drills until muscle memory takes over. The result is choreography built on real technique. Instead of generic movie props, Butler and his team supplied custom TTY firearms, Glock 34s tuned for speed, magwells flared for flawless reloads, holsters designed for competition draws. Safety briefings and range protocols followed actors from the training bay to the film set, ensuring that what happened on screen matched what happens in a real match. This collaboration did not just change the look of the action, it changed the entire workflow. Real shooters were now guiding the choreography, setting the bar for what was possible, and for the first time, Hollywood had a blueprint for making gunplay feel authentic. Keanu Reeves did not just show up and start firing blanks. The journey began months before cameras rolled, deep in the world of three-gun competition at Taran Tactical's range. Each day started with drills that would test most people's patience. Draw, fire, reload, repeat. Shot timers dictated the pace, shaving off tenths of a second with every run. Steel targets rang out, marking every hit and every miss, while Taran Butler and his team watched for the smallest slip in grip or stance. The regimen demanded more than just learning choreography. It meant rewiring instincts. Keanu drilled magazine changes until the motion became automatic. Left hand dropped the magazine. Right hand kept the pistol up. A fresh magazine snapped in. The slide racked, and he was back on target in under 2 seconds. That is faster than most soldiers, and it did not come easy. Mistakes meant starting over. Fatigue was part of the process, not an excuse. Movement mattered too. Barricades forced him to shift angles, clear corners, and transition between rifle, pistol, and shotgun. Each step mirrored what real competitors face under match pressure. Instructors corrected every detail, from the set of his shoulders to the position of his trigger finger. The goal was not to create a Hollywood hero, but a shooter who could pass for the real thing under the scrutiny of experts. After months of this grind, Every reload, every transition, every shot looked like second nature, not just on the range, but on screen. On set, the difference is not just in how actors move, it is in what is actually strapped to their belts and slung over their shoulders. The guns in John Wick are not picked for looks alone. They are purpose-built, tuned for competition, and loaded with features that matter when fractions of a second count. The most iconic is the TTI Combat Master 2011, a double-stack pistol that borrows from the world of speed shooting. It sports a Trijicon RMR red dot sight, not for show, but for real. Lightning-fast target acquisition. Fiber optic irons back it up, glowing under harsh lighting and low light alike. Each pistol wears an oversized magwell, flared to funnel magazines in with barely a glance. Extended base pads stretch the round count, matching what is possible in real 3-gun matches. Holsters are not just leather props, they are custom kydex, cut low for race-ready draws, and paired with mag pouches that let actors rip reloads at full speed. Rifles like the TTI TR1 run with functional ACOG scopes and backup RMR sights, built for quick transitions between barricades and open ground. Shotguns feature extended tubes and real competition optics, with every accessory live tested on the range before it ever hits the camera. This gear does more than look the part. It lets every reload, every press check, every weapon transition read as authentic. When Keanu Reeves drops a mag, slams in a fresh one, and brings the dot back on target, the camera is not hiding anything. The gun is a tool, not a toy, and the audience picks up on it, even if they cannot name every part. Praise for John Wick's gun handling didn't just come from critics or casual fans, it exploded across the shooting community. Competitive shooters posted frame-by-frame breakdowns, timing Keanu Reeves' reloads, and marveling at his magazine changes, often under 2 seconds. Forum threads filled up with comments like, "Finally someone gets it," while YouTube reaction videos racked up millions of views. In 2016, a behind-the-scenes clip of Reeves running a 3-gun course like a pro went viral, drawing admiration from both seasoned shooters and newcomers. Range instructors started referencing Wick reloads as a new standard. Even non-shooters could sense something different, but for those who live on the range, it felt like long overdue recognition. It didn't just entertain, it earned respect, and that respect spread fast, turning John Wick into a touchstone for authenticity in action cinema. Demand for TTI's custom pistols exploded almost overnight. After John Wick, Chapter 3, a TTI Combat Master 2011 sold at auction for $9,480, an unheard-of price for a movie-linked competition pistol. Gun shops and online retailers reported back orders on 2011 pattern pistols, with buyers asking for the exact setups seen on screen. Each new sequel sent another wave through the market, driving interest in the latest custom builds and accessories. Studios took notice too. Productions like Nobody and Atomic Blonde hired the same trainers and consultants, baking Wick realism into their budgets. What started as a single film's push for authenticity kicked off a domino effect, reshaping both the gear people wanted and the way Hollywood approached action choreography. Today, big-budget action scenes train for realism because audiences expect it. A $9,480 pistol proves that authenticity now drives pop culture and the market. As studios chase credibility, every trigger pull reminds us. When movies respect reality, we all walk away believing just a little more. Thanks for watching.